Hi,
What's
Smash.
up, Toasty? How you doing?
Alyssa.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Alyssa. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. I'm gonna sleep like a baby tonight yet again.
You need to recap me because I did not watch your entire live stream today because I was very busy once again with the kid stuff as usual. So I saw like 5 minute snippets here and there, but can you give everyone like a maybe like a 3 minute recap of the because it's a 4 hour stream. So can you give people a 3 minute recap of what they missed and maybe we can go from that?
Yeah, so me and John, the problematic white guy, we were hanging out and we just got done doing like the little Alyssa thing that I do where I'm just like, okay, I'm a detective. Let's see what dumb crap she's gonna post. And again, you guys, she is a public figure, is she not? She is. She has
100%.
these
Yep.
social medias. She streams, she writes articles. So why am I not allowed to make content about her? And I don't lie about things. I literally just let people know what she posts and I just throw my opinion out there. That's
Mm.
it. That's all I do. And then I get a notification. Someone tells me in the chat, dude, Toasty, she made a whole post about you. So like she had posted on her ex, which of course I'm blocked, but I could still see it. But she had written more stuff on her blue sky. Like she kept going and going. She was complaining that she was complaining um telling people that I am a grifter, that I make money off of her, that I do the Erica German song that the Nazis played and that I'm transphobic, homophobic, and all this. Not only that, but I think she had also wrote in, she admitted to reporting everybody on my panel and who I hang out with multiple times. So not just me, everybody else on the panel.
I think I have that here. Let me bring it up here.
Yeah, and she was Jay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she was directly sending people to report stream me. Just telling people to report this person, report
which
her.
which is a common tactic from that side when they can't win. They
Yes.
need to try to silence you. And as you probably already know, I've been dealing with that for
Really,
well over a
Smash? I
year
didn't
now.
know that.
What's that?
I didn't know that, Smash.
No, yeah, I
Really?
didn't know that. So this is some of the posts. So she said, let me make it like this so we can read it a little bit better. Actually, hold on. Let me open it in a new tab so I can zoom in on it. I have reported this person, which first off, on the internet broadcasting that, like one, it's not a great look
No.
unless what you're reporting and screen capping is something where people are like, oh yeah, that's literally like someone's address that's all like blacked out because you don't want to share it again. And you're like, I reported this person, please report them. Like that's totally acceptable for that. But she's conflating that with like, oh, this person does not hold me in a high regard, so I'm reporting them. I'm like, that doesn't work. You can't do that. I reported this person and their live streams several times and will continue to.
Mm-hmm.
Her account is Toasty with the Mosty 69 on YouTube. She's a relatively new grifter who has made me the center of her content. Weird because I could almost argue that Alyssa is now making you the center of Alyssa's content. Isn't that interesting how that works?
I know. And it's so funny how this is after writing that article about harassing people and content creators and all that, right? When
Mm-hmm,
she
mm-hmm.
did the article about like these streamer girls that were harassed on during live and all that. Wow. I don't know. It just seems like she's not for, supporting other women. I don't know.
Well, I feel like, in my unprofessional opinion, that there are things that are maybe affecting her, and maybe it's impacting her ability to think logically. because I'm struggling to understand where she's coming from, because here um, you are on YouTube,
Mhm.
pop culture, interesting stories, public X tweets that the community has interest about, that literally every channel that covers pop culture does. Like, there's nothing unique about Alyssa Mercante, as much as she probably thinks she is. There's
Mhm.
nothing special about her, but for some reason, she thinks she's untouchable when she says stupid shit that nobody's allowed to be like, hey, everyone, look at this really stupid shit this person said.
Yeah, and I said that as well. I was like, "Alyssa, you're helping me out gaining all these subs and followers because you have people that don't like you that look at your stuff too, not just me. And they just don't happen to make content like I do, but they're lurking at you. So therefore, if you're bashing me, they're gonna come sub to me. They're gonna
Mhm.
follow me because they're like, oh, so this girl Toasty is like going after Alyssa, who is annoying and we don't like her, and we're not okay. I'm subbing to her. She's
So what
helping
she,
me out.
well, what you could surmise that as basically breaking down to, as much as she hates to admit this, that when she targets someone, the target that she has focused on is the one that gets the goodwill from the community. And it makes her more frustrated because she's like, why are people liking this person? I'm bringing attention to them because they're a bad person. Why are they growing? Why are they getting attention? And I saw your post on X today that was saying, hey, thanks, Alyssa. What do you have, 1,900 followers now on X?
Yeah,
Or what?
almost 2,000, almost 2,000. But yeah,
Almost
not,
2,000. You said, thanks, Alyssa. And I was thinking when I saw that, because I was scrolling through and I was like, it's almost like we need to rename the Streisand effect to the Mercante effect, because she's
yeah,
going around picking fights with people and then getting upset when people are like, all I'm doing is talking about how stupid you sound, and people agree with you. Like, why is that? How are you in the wrong on this? How are you in the wrong? What are you doing that's harassing? These are her tweets that she put out there. And as far as I understood and how I personally read them, I read them as she was excited and bragging about getting 2 abortions. And I'm like,
yes,
okay, you're welcome to do that. I'm not saying you can't be bragging about getting 2 abortions, but when people call that out and say, "Hey, that's kind of fucked up," you can't cry the victim. You can't be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! They're bringing up my tweets talking about how I got abortions. I'm the victim here, and they're attacking me." It's like, no, 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 no. You can't throw pebbles, and then when stones get thrown back, you can't cry. That's not how this works.
right. And that was my opinion. I'm like, how are you gonna brag about this? And then the next tweet, she's like, "Oh, I can't wait to have kids. I hope they're gay, and I want to get them vaccinated. Blah 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 blah, and all this and that." I'm like, that is super inhumane. You're like the weirdest person to be bragging about having abortions. Like me personally, I am pro life,
Mhm.
but like, let's even say I was pro choice, I would still be like, I wouldn't brag about it. Like you're allowed
Right.
to,
You're allowed to do
but
what you want, but that's kind of weird.
it
It's
is
kind of weird.
weird, weird.
Weird, weird. Well, let me continue with these. We'll go on to the, as I would categorize, fairly unhinged rant. Um, she investigates, quote unquote, which, by the way, apparently only Alyssa is allowed to investigate things, and she will be the arbiter of truth of what an investigation is and what it isn't. And you're not allowed to do that because you are not an esteemed ex journalist like she is. She investigates me by going to Blue Sky, reading my posts, and spewing bile like this headline: I've asked to let me come chat to see if I can dissuade her from being so disgusting towards me. She refused.
This is why I refuse, because I knew if I did, she would just go on a tangent. Like she would go insane.
Well,
That's why I
secondly,
didn't let her on. Because I felt like it,
real quick, you don't you don't owe her that. You don't owe
yeah,
her a platform. I don't know where she thinks that she's, because you're talking about her, that she's owed a platform on your channel. That's not how this works.
right. right.
But go on. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just.
No, 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 you're right. And I was just like, yeah, first of all, and John was there. John was like, she doesn't owe you anything. Who are you to come in here and demand that?
Hmm.
You already know Alyssa's never heard the word no before, right? Like it's driving her crazy. And
Hmm.
now
Hmm.
because I'm how can I put this? I am getting engagement from doing this. It's making her even more angry. And it's laughable. It's so funny. To me, it's hilarious.
Well,
And that's why I didn't let her on. I wanted her to be angry about that.
in her eventual lawsuit against you, if she stays on the same path that she's traveling, she would ultimately, if she's going to be using the same angle that she took with me, would be taking the perspective of you admitted that you used her to grow your brand. And because of that, you owe her money now. Because that is part of her lawsuit against me.
She thinks she is so important that she doesn't understand that she isn't that important, but she's a clown. It's fun. Like she's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, let's keep going through these. She has a man co-host who said what?
Shout out to
First off,
John.
yeah, shout out to John. Shout out to John. But first off, what what does the man why does gender get invoked here? Like, what does that have to do with anything?
That's yeah. For her followers to really come after me. You know how they
Mm.
get when they see this
Well,
and they go
well, it's
insane.
weird because she was coming after me saying that I was against women or whatever the terminology used, and all that. And now that she's going after a girl, she's now trying to find something else to be like, oh, and she platforms a man. It's like, what?
I could say the same thing about her. I could be like she doesn't like Hispanics because she went after Hypno, now coming after me. Like she doesn't like Puerto Ricans, it seems like. But I'm using her same logic. I could just do that and make
That's
her
true.
look even worse than who she is.
That's very true. That's very true. Um, so it goes on. She has a man co-host who says disgusting shit too, which again, Alyssa is allowed to say whatever she wants. That doesn't make it true. And that's what burns her. She's like, I said it, so it's true. And we keep saying, no, Alyssa, just because you're saying things does not make it true. Just because words hurt your feelings doesn't mean that the words were not true.
Mm-mm.
Uh, they denigrate trans folks, queer folks, and others. Oh, first off, I've never heard you do that, but if you have, you're more than welcome to. Like, you can, it's your platform. You can say what you want.
Yeah,
One of her prizes for donating to her live
this is
stream
my favorite part.
is her dancing to German music in a bra while wearing a Hitler mustache. What say you, Toasty? What say you?
Oh my god. No, it's not a Hitler stash. It's an eyelash I put atop of my lip, but that's because I'm a big fan of Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, see, maybe if she just understood you a little bit better, it would be okay. And we have someone who takes, these are factual statements. She takes selfies on toilets. She takes selfies in mirrors. She posts pictures of herself nude. Uh, and she's going on X saying that you're a problem dancing to German music in your bra. Pot meat Kello? Like, what are we doing here?
And she sounds pretty jealous because I do get a nice amount of donations for it. Um
Well, because you actually have boobs. She's probably jealous.
I said this. See, I quoted that. I was on X, and then Grums was like, "Why is she after you?" And I said, "Well, because I have titties and I get donations."
I mean, facts are facts here. Um, she had a man. Wait, a man again?
So I think
What?
the second one is towards John, and then that was towards Ryan because Ryan does. Remember, he did the fetus
Yep,
thing.
yep. Sorry, I just saw the word man and pause because I was like, "What's the word with man every time?"
She
Man.
does. They're
She
evil.
has a tattoo on her ass that says "All men are enemies."
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Not only that, but like, if you hate men so much, why do you have a boyfriend? Why do you keep getting knocked up and aborting your pregnancies if you hate men so much?
I would postulate maybe it's a power trip.
That is so unhealthy. She's mentally not right.
I mean, it is what it is, but this is the problem. When someone makes public statements, people are allowed to react to them. Just like, by the way, Alyssa, we know you're in there watching. You could chat away if you want. You could react to this stream on your Twitch channel, and nobody would care. They're like, yeah, this is how the world works. People talk and react and give their feelings on things. They don't sue people when they hear something they don't like because it hurt their feelings. But she's trying to take it from one standpoint of only one road is allowed here. And it's like, no, 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 no. You got to think of the other road as well, because there are different rules of schools of thought with all of this. But then she puts a comma, thankfully, and says spreads lies. So she's not necessarily saying calling her a murderer is a lie, which is good. She's separating the two.
Yes.
Um, she
Mhm.
says spreads lies, which, okay, what lies is she spreading? Why would you not name those here? Weird how they just say these words and hope they catch on. And I think in the past it worked, which is why they got used to doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, but now we have, like, literally, you could watch any of my videos on my channel and you could be like, "Oh, well, Tulsi's just reporting what she posts." And
Mhm.
that's it. And Tulsi and her co-host John are just speaking their minds and their opinions about it, but they never spread any lies.
And the other thing too is people don't have to agree with you. People can watch you and disagree with you.
Yeah.
I have, as people who watch the channel often on the live streams, there are a tremendous amount of people that do not like me. There are there are a lot of channels out there that make some really critical content about me. And I'm like, hey, it's fair game, man. You're gonna do that. I do that to people all the time. I would be such a hypocrite if I was like, oh, this person's harassing me, this person's doing this to me, that to me. It's like, no, this is how it works. If you put yourself out there as a public figure, which is what Alyssa is, which she's trying to argue she's all of a sudden not for some reason, because
Yeah.
she realized that that's the only angle she has, but it's not an angle that she's going to lose that in a heartbeat too. You're putting things out there in the public square, and then you're trying to police what people are allowed to respond with. And it's like, as long as people are not doxing like you did to me, Alyssa, as long as people aren't doing that kind of stuff, it's all fair game in the eyes of the law and the platform. People are allowed to engage and converse. That's how this works. And
Mhm.
you can't realize trying to silence other people, eventually, if you wait long enough, will come back for you tenfold. And your rules you're trying to create are going to be used against you. And you're going to be in a much worse place because of that. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, I totally agree. She just keeps making herself look really bad.
It's disgusting. I reported her, but YouTube is horrible at enforcing terms of service. Okay, again, that's an opinion which she's allowed to have. I would disagree. I think YouTube is actually doing a great job enforcing terms, the TOS lately. No, they weren't in the past, but they've gotten a lot better in the
Mhm.
past couple of years. This is clearly targeted harassment and tags YouTube. Like, hey, mommy, daddy, YouTube, I'm tattling on this person that's saying mean things about me on your platform. You're platforming them. I would almost read this. Call me crazy. I would almost read this as Alyssa's trying to build a case to sue YouTube.
I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
wouldn't
But
either.
that's more money out of her pocket to get lawyers, right?
Not necessarily. Not if you get a
Really?
pro bono lawyer that would do it for free.
Mm. I mean, she has no other choice. She can't
Mhm.
even pay her rent
I mean, according
or
to
the
her,
leaky roof,
according
or
to her,
she's getting kicked out. That's what she said. I am not lying about that.
this is classic. This is probably my favorite part. Do not engage with her or the people on her channel. Just report it. Um, hold up. This coming from the same person that said earlier that she wanted to go on. Where's that one where she wouldn't let you go on and talk to her? Where is that one?
On top. Right there. The first one.
Oh, I've asked to let me come chat to see if I can dissuade her from being so disgusting towards me. She refused. Do not engage with her. Okay, so only you're allowed to try to engage with her, Alyssa. Your rules, and then you tell everyone else. You authoritatively tell people what they're allowed to do and what they're not. Like she has any kind of power. Alyssa, you have no power here. I don't know how to tell you this.
Mm-mm.
Go watch Lord of the Rings.
And she calls my channel so irrelevant. If it's so irrelevant, why do
What
you
is she
care so
doing
much?
there? Yeah, exactly. What is she doing there? Oh my god.
She's such a hypocrite and she contradicts everything she says. Fucking everything.
Yep.
She
Yep.
makes no sense.
So I found this video from this anonymous YouTuber that I wanted to go over. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I wanted to share it, and I need to make sure I have an okay to share it first. Hold on a second.
Oh, by the way, was that the one on X?
Yes.
I think she had wrote more stuff on her Blue Sky, but I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, good point. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, got it. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Uh,
Shout out to Jay Viper for that. He looked through her Blue Sky, was like, oh no, she wrote more stuff there. I'm like, oh really?
okay, maybe it's Jay Viper too. I found it from Rob here, but shout out to Jay Viper as well. Um,
I mean, everybody was helping me out, so
I mean,
which
that's
was
what I've
awesome.
learned. Like this community is actually pretty epic when it comes down to it, because it takes a village to to try to solve these kind of issues that come up. And that's what I look at Alyssa as. She is someone who is a constant nag, look at me person,
Mhm.
pay attention to me. She's realized, in my humble opinion, she's realized that her relevance has faded. She now posts articles on Rolling Stone, and at the same breath trying to say she's not a public figure while going on rants on multiple social media websites for everyone to see. I don't. That would be a fascinating case for her to try to fight. She's not a public figure, but God bless her for that one. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me bring this up in a new tab. Here we go on Blue Sky. By the way, because if you did this on X, I believe that is a bannable offense. You're not allowed to tell people to report people, if I recall correctly. I don't know for sure though.
I think so, and not only that, if she's mentioning YouTube as well, that would be 2 platforms already that she's, you know.
She says, please report this person. Toasty with the Mosty 69 on YouTube. She's a relatively new grifter who has made me the center of her content. And by the way, Alyssa, there are dozens of people that have made me the center of their content.
Yeah.
Do you see me going around talking like you do right now? Think about that for a second. Think about how childish you're acting right now. She's a relatively new grifter who has made me the center of her content. She investigates me by going to Blue Sky, reading my posts, and spewing bile. Oh my God, you're such an awful person. Such an awful person.
I'm so mean. Look at my horns. Can't you
Right?
see how evil I am?
Okay, so this is weird. These are like the same but different.
Yeah, and then you have like these people commenting, right? Because I think someone has said she has stopped her replies on X, but you could see all all the replies on her comments, and one of them saying, "Oh, why is she obsessed with you? Why aren't you asking Alyssa why she's obsessed with Smash JT?"
Right. Why is that? It's fascinating how that goes. And now, oh, by the way, now that we're talking about this situation, now she's going to try to use this in a case of, oh, look at Smash JT still harassing and talking about me and attacking me. It's like, no, these are your words, Alyssa. We're literally just covering you. Like, I don't know how else to tell you this, but imagine how like she is so tone deaf. Like out of all the people, a journalist, quote unquote, that goes around and gets stories and talks about people in the industry for her life's work is now saying other people can't do that.
Right. I mean, it seems like this lady just has, well, she's not a lady, but Merkante has no self-control at all. Because I don't know, like with her actions, the fact that she had 2 abortions and the fact that she just posts crazy stuff on social media without any like, I hate to sound like a lefty, but like uh consequences or people just writing back to her and it
Mhm.
seems like she lacks self-control. I don't know. Like she just goes on a, you know,
Well, I don't think it's a lack of self control. I don't. I caution myself to give her too much credit. I almost think it's like a subconscious. She subconsciously realizes that she's lost relevance, and this is a way to get her name back in the news cycle to start kicking dirt up again. Because here we are talking about the stupid shit she's doing again. And it's like she is the lol cow here, and she's the crying to try to cancel people and try to get their channels taken down. Could you imagine the insane backlash from the entire community if she were to get your channel taken down? Could you imagine what would happen? Like you would, first off, you would be blowing up on social media if that ever happened, and your channel would come back and you'd be huge right after that. Does she not realize that if she gets her way, it's actually ultimately worse? It's almost like she doesn't think past the point of just getting her way, almost like a spoiled brat baby that was just given what they wanted their whole life, so they don't expect any kind of repercussions from that. It's just give me what I want, and then the next day I just want to take someone else down. It's the next day. But anyways, so she goes, it's disgusting. I reported her, but YouTube is horrible enforcing terms of service. This is clearly targeted harassment. Reporting her and the people she uses to farm content, like Old Man Grimm on X, does nothing because that site is a lost cause. Oh my God. Thank God for Elon Musk. No wonder these people hate Elon so much, by the way. At least I have a chance on YouTube. No, you don't, hun. Please know I've reported tons of people in the circle of disgusting hate. She's not helping herself. She's not helping herself. Oh, we lost Toasty. We lost Toasty. She's not helping herself at all. Old Man Grimm gets the shout out, though. Yeah, shout out to Old Man Grimm for his efforts. The fact that Alyssa is pushing forward and so tone deaf to not even understand what she's saying is the worst of the worst things. It goes to show the lack of intellect on this person. Please know I've reported tons of people in this circle of disgusting hate. Congratulations, Alyssa. You could have spent time looking for a job, but no, instead, you're reporting people on social media. What an accomplishment. Riovin says, a good idea would be to also get the YouTube team on X to see this. Spam tag them on posts. And yeah, spam tag them. They will just mute you. And get more people to also join in. Yeah, a coordinated takedown. Yeah. What could possibly go wrong with that one? It doesn't work all the time, but it has a good chance to. I've personally seen it happen with a higher degree of success than waiting on YouTube's site moderation. Listen to these psycho basement dwellers. Also, tagging in Rinerchi on Twitter might be a tiny help. Who the hell is Rinerchi on Twitter? I've never even heard of that person. Hold on a second. I need to check this. They spell the name so freaking weird. Oh God, they look the part. They absolutely look the part. Look at this. Head of editorial and creator liaison, YouTube Insider. Former editorial director, Mobile Nations, director of product marketing, Sand. Opinions my own. So they're trying to tag this guy in to take channels down. Wow.